As we go through this pastoral planning process, I think it'll be very helpful for us to consider the 4 tasks of mourning. Now, you may wonder at first, well, what does this have to do with pastoral planning? Isn't grief and mourning all about the death of someone that we love? Well, yes, mourning really is the process involved with the experience of a loss. So maybe at first it might sound strange, but if you really think about it, this process will entail some kind of loss. A loss of the way that we've done things in our parishes in the past and an acceptance of what will be new. I myself was first introduced to this idea of the process of mourning being applied to other losses within our life when I was in the seminary. And as they were having us to pray with and consider our call to the celibate vocation of priesthood, they pointed out that it could be healthy to grieve the loss of the possibility of marriage, of ever having a wife or children. And I found that for myself, that indeed was very helpful, to grieve the possibility of the good of marriage, giving that up as a great loss, but then for the purpose of being able to accept the great good of the priesthood. And so even if it sounds a bit strange to apply this to pastoral planning, it will indeed involve some kind of loss. Grieving ultimately is meant to support our flourishing. We grieve the loss of a loved one so that we can continue life, even as it means having to do it without them. And the hope is not just to endure, but to flourish even after the loss. And the same thing for myself with the possibility of marriage. I mourn not being able to enter into marriage so that I can freely accept priesthood and to be able to flourish in a different kind of spousal relationship. And the same thing is true for our journey of faith. We need to go through the tasks of grieving so that we can move our parishioners and our parishes to greater flourishing. As priests, we walk with people through various moments of life, including that of the loss of a loved one. Now, I don't claim to be an expert counselor, but I do try to draw from the insight of experts and combine that, especially with the wisdom that comes from our faith. And so in the coming videos, I want to walk through the 4 tasks of mourning that are enumerated by a book that we used in the seminary, Grief Counseling and Grief Therapy by Mourning. Now, this isn't the only version of this kind of idea about grief and mourning. Psychologists use many different terms to describe these tasks. Some call it stages, others phases. I really like the tasks term, since tasks imply that we can actually do something actively within the process, rather than just having to passively experience our grief. And also different experts will distinguish different numbers of stages or tasks that need to be done. And so I'm going to stick with this one author's 4 tasks of mourning that's described in this book and go through each of them in the coming videos.